reason why I have to use the word was.
Hello, folks. Now, before I say anything of substance, let's just take a good look around us right now. There's this impressive Moorish architecture all around us, with so many buildings of this design and our surroundings. Now, if I didn't say we were in America still, would you think we're in, Europe, Spain, Portugal, maybe North Africa, Morocco? Well, those would be good guesses because the design sort of reflects the architecture found in such areas. But no, we're not in any of those places. We are in Florida, our 23rd state here on the Coverage Project. It's just such an exciting idea that you hear about the state of Florida, and it's got a huge population, got so many things to do, and we are finally in this state. Yeah, this city that we're in right now for our debut in the state of Florida, the Sunshine State, is a city like no other in the US, but we'll get more on that soon. First, Florida as a state as a whole, everyone has an opinion on it, everyone knows about it. So what do you think of when you hear of Florida? First off, the climate. We've hit the southeast corner of the United States. Yes, this is as far as you can go towards the southeast in the United States. So obviously, it has a climate like no other as well. It's known for its beaches, of course, that everybody flocks to, but it's also known for its swamps, the Everglades, and a lot of other agricultural areas where people grow such things as oranges. Also think of Florida as a place that harbors all of the world's grandest, greatest resorts. From the general beach resorts to the theme parks like Walt Disney World and Universal. Florida seems to attract so many different types of tourists, and a large quantity of them as well. Everybody and their mother is coming to Florida. I mean, for goodness sakes, we are here as well on the Coverage Project, so maybe we count as one of those visitors. You're gonna find a lot of wildlife in the state of Florida. From the alligator, which is the state school's mascot, the Florida Gators, to the even wilder Florida Man. Honestly, I think that university should change its mascot to the Florida Man. But those are just some things that I think of when I hear of Florida. What do you all think of Florida here on our debut? Here on our southeast tour, we're gonna be visiting, I guess, the lesser visited part of Florida, because a lot of people, they'll go to Miami, Orlando, Tampa, and that's sort of in the mid to the south of the state. But here in the north, well, it's a little more southern culturally, because there's a saying here in Florida: the more south you go, the more northern you get. Or maybe I'm mixing it up. Maybe it's the more north you go, the more southern it gets culturally. So we're gonna be here in the northern part of the state for the next few days. A beautiful tune ringing from the bells at Flagler College. Now this wasn't always a college, it used to be a hotel. Actually, that used to be a hotel as well. The Hotel Alcazar over here, and the Hotel Ponce de Leon was over here. Two historic, iconic hotels to be visited here in our location of St. Augustine, Florida. Nowadays, these two hotels are two different entities. One is a college campus of sorts, and the other one acts as a city hall and a museum at the same time. You can obviously see there is a lot of tourism in St. Augustine, and for good reason. You want to know why I decided to debut us in St. Augustine, Florida for our first location here on the Sunshine State? Well, not only is it the first settled place in Florida, but it is the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the nation, in America, all the way back to the year 1565. That is over 200 years before America got its independence. Before all of those settlements you heard about in your history class, Jamestown, Plymouth, Roanoke. Before all of that, there was St. Augustine, and not settled by the English or the French, but rather the Spanish. And I'm not 100% sure, but maybe that's why the buildings built later in this city's history sort of reflect that Spanish colonial architecture as sort of to pay homage to this oldest city's legacy. Let's go on a grand old adventure today to the oldest settled place in America and discover what is there to see and do here in St. Augustine. Now on the coverage project, we often head over to these public grounds and local parks. Well, what's so significant about this one? This is the oldest in America. Just like the city is the oldest in America, well, this is the oldest public grounds in America. This monument is the only monument left in the Western Hemisphere to celebrate the Spanish Constitution. Back then, it was the Spanish who orchestrated the layout of this city and developed it first. Plaza de la Constitucion is a great place right in the general center of St. Augustine to relax and congregate. You can see all of these old downtown shops. South of that square, you will find Avilas Street, and this is probably the closest thing you'll find to the restored colonial downtown, named after the official founder of St. Augustine, Pedro Melendez de Avilas. Really nice just to be transported a little bit back in time. I don't know how long, but I'd say a good 300, 400 years. As deep into the south as we are right now, the British never really got to stake a good solid claim into Florida. This was Spanish Florida. And from the beginning of the 1500s up until America got its independence, this was basically under the Spanish crown. As we walk through the streets, you'll see a lot of that influence. Sure, a lot of things are tacky and cater to tourism these days, but the legacy still remains. So that was St. George Street, and it's not really my type of thing. The fun historic buildings restored or reconstructed or whatever, that's fun, but it's just a glorified shopping mall at its best. But if that is your thing, St. George Street has a lot to offer. The touristic markets and little trinket shops are nice, it's alright, but you know, here on the coverage project we like the authentic picture of a place we go to. So there's the little tacky fun area, but just literally outside of that area, you walk a few steps and you come across this amazingly large masonry fort. This is Castillo De San Marcos. This is the oldest masonry fort in the country. There's a lot of firsts for St. Augustine, of course. Oldest city, oldest everything around here. This large, old historic fort protected the shores of St. Augustine from any foreign invasions. Like previous locations we've been to, we've been along the coast, and so the coast is a mighty fine place to set up shop and have trading ports, and you don't want foreign invasions coming your way, ruining the profit. So this helped the Spanish out quite a bit. you believe it? We are on top of the Castillo. It's like being on a castle. I mean, in Spanish, it just means St. Mark's Castle. This is such a grand view. And on the other side, you can see the entire waterfront area. Constructed in 1672, this Castillo De San Marcos has been through a lot of history, changing hands of ownership many times. First in the hold of the Spanish who built it, then to the British, then back to the Spanish as America got its independence, and finally, once Florida was ceded to America, America got its hands on this beautiful military fort. The Castillo De San Marcos is a national monument. Now, there are only 129 places, entities with that designation of a national monument. It's different from a national park. In some way, I guess maybe it's just like one singular entity rather than a big open area of recreation, but here, the Castillo is one of them. And that should hold some important significance, should it not? What did you expect of our first trip to Florida? Disney World? No, not in a million years. But I hope this debut to St. Augustine, Florida, here in the north of the state, was a great introduction into our future endeavors here in the Sunshine State. I think we've reached our southern terminus on our southeast tour. We're only going west from here, so there will be plenty of experiences. We still got a few more days in Florida, and I cannot wait. So with that all being said, here at the first permanently inhabited settlement of the United States, St. Augustine, Florida, more travels to come. I will see you at the next location.